Great. Okay. So college basketball. So I'll tell you a little bit about college basketball times, and then this will give you an opportunity to say something really nice about college basketball times. All right. So we are a nonprofit. We have we're keeping the legacy alive of this old time magazine called Basketball Times. And I don't know that I need to change the view, but all right. So what we're trying to do, one of the things, as I mentioned to you earlier, is we have an educational component of what we're doing. We are trying to help students with internships so they learn how to write in-depth articles about players like yourself and help them with interviews. So we have internships set up with schools all over the country, just like University of Florida, where Molly goes. The other thing we try to do is we have a mission of equality. We cover all aspects of college basketball equally. We cover men's Division I, we cover Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, JUCO, and college wheelchair basketball. We cover it equally, and we cover men and women equally. That's what we're all about. We're trying to do have a charity part of it too. We are a nonprofit. We're trying to raise money to help players who aren't getting scholarships. Not every player gets a full scholarship. Try to help them pay for school, as well as possibly help some players who aren't able to afford wheelchairs to get those relatively expensive wheelchairs. So that's what we're about. Now, this is your opportunity to say, wow, that's great, Dave.
Well, I'm actually going to say it's awesome.
We'll take awesome. We'll take awesome. All right.
Cool.
Anything that you'd like us to do in addition to what we're doing? As maybe you've seen on our site, we have featured a few wheelchair players already. I think we featured 3 women already and 3 men. And there's an article coming out on a guy from Arizona tonight or tomorrow. Anything you'd like us to do? What seems like what the wheelchair players would like is simply to be treated just like every other athlete out there. Cover our sport. Treat us like athletes. That's all we want. Now, maybe you want something different.
I mean, it's actually a good goal. Like some of the people out there, like they don't realize that we train as hard as stand-up basketball, right? And we do the same. We're in the gym putting the work. So yeah, I agree with this statement. Like we would just want to be treated as normal. So that's the same.
Well, you're better than normal. From what I've seen, you're pretty elite. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Molly. I will chime in every once in a while to interrupt things, but Molly, you go ahead.
Okay, cool. So how did you start out like with basketball? How'd you gain an interest in playing?
Yeah, I mean, I started in 2010. I was still in high school, and one of the girls that was there, she just happened to talk to me about wheelchair basketball. And you know, when you grow up, you kind of find yourself a little bit more. And I guess it was the grand opening for me. Like I went try wheelchair basketball. Well, I came back home, talked to my friend about it. My friend was like, "Oh, this is so awesome! So let's go to a practice." So we could actually like find out if you like it or not. So we went there, and I fall in love with wheelchair basketball right away. Yeah.
Well, from the start, was there anybody that was able to help you grow into the player you are today?
I think every person that I met through wheelchair basketball helped me in some ways. I think I learned a lot from different player, either because like I start at the level that there were adult there and there were a younger player, and I think it was cool to learn that I was not alone, like in a sense where I could learn from older player and younger people too. Like they went through different stage, and some of them were the same age as me, so it was like, or new to the sport, so it was cool to figure it out a way that I was not alone in it, I think. Yeah.
Let me jump in quickly.
Yeah.
Can you pronounce your name for us?
Élodie.
Okay. So
Élodie.
I have 2 daughters who take French,
Yeah.
and they told me that the mark on top of the
Élodie.
E is called a goo. Is
It's
that
what?
correct? A goo?
It's a
What is
goo?
the accent mark?
Yeah, it's a apostrophe. Like it's
They,
a
so
accent
my
aigu.
daughters are wrong.
Aigu.
They told me
Aigu.
it's a goo.
Yeah, aigu.
A goo.
Yeah.
How am
You're
I
right.
supposed to pronounce that?
Yeah, un accent aigu.
Goo?
Like
I'm going with goo.
Élodie.
Just G-O-O. Can we just change it to goo? I think that's easier for me. That would be nice. All right.
That's okay, yeah.
All right. That's all right. Back to Molly. That's my little interruption right there. My French lesson.
Yeah, that's good.
Was it hard like getting started, or was it easy to pick up when you started playing?
Was it easy? That's a good question. I mean, it's funny, because um, I was this winter, like I went back home to Quebec, and I was talking with my friend about like trying a new sport, and I tried to learn how to ski, alpine skiing, and I'm going a little bit away off basketball, but it's crazy how like this sport, like I never sat down on a bucket before. I never felt that feeling of skiing before, right? So like everything is kind of new, and it make me remember on like it was to start in 2010. Like it was exciting. Like I was really happy to go to the gym and figure it out, like how the sport work, right? Like how I can be good at it. And I was thinking like how important it is to have like a adaptive to you, like a good chair, so that it can make you better, kind of thing. Like I start with a chair that wasn't made for me. So and it's the same thing for the ski. Like the bucket isn't made for me, and it's kind of difficult to figure it out, the feel of it. And I think it's the same thing of wheelchair basketball. Like I think it was to figure out how it worked, how it feels to be in a chair and play with the ball and with the people around you and the hit. And I mean, it's just different. Like it's something that you have to learn. Like when's the last time you guys try something that you just don't know about? Like it's gonna be tough at the beginning, but you put time, you put effort, you put work, and you put patience in it. Like you'll be good at it. So I think it's the same thing that happened to me. I was just passionate about it. Like I was just excited because it was new.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you when you went, so this like about the skiing,
Yeah.
have you ever been interested in skiing, or was just like spontaneous?
Both, I guess. Like, I guess I want to discover myself a little bit more in the winter sport. So when I go back home, I have something else to do. And I was actually really exciting, and I hit my head last Thursday. So now I'm still in Quebec, but like that's what I'm telling my parent. Like sometimes, like if you don't try anything, you don't know. Like you cannot risk anything. So I think it's really exciting to, I don't know, like I was driving in the morning and super exciting, like a basketball game. Like I was super excited to go try something that we don't know what's gonna happen. And I think that's the feeling I'm searching in my life. Like I want to search that in my daily life, like a feeling that you're excited about. I don't know.
All right, let me jump back to the French and the goo. So you grew up in Montreal?
No, I grew up it's called Saint-Germain de Grand-Am. Like it's a really long word, but it's
Okay.
between Montreal and Quebec City. It's about an hour from Montreal, an
About an hour
hour.
from Montreal. Okay.
Yeah, like in the middle. Yeah,
So I guess they speak French there.
only French. Yeah.
Okay. So my question for you is, how many members of your current team can sing "O Canada"?
UTA.
At UTA, yes.
In French, not
Even in English.
but in English, there's probably one.
I know 2 words to that song.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, in Canada. Yes.
Nice.
I can do them well, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's one other Canadian that is on my team. So Jane Adol is from Alberta, so she can sing it a
Gotcha.
little bit. Yeah. So too. Yeah.
There you go. That's something.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Molly.
And then okay, I have family that live in Canada. How far is Nova Scotia from like?
Oh, Nova Scotia. It's a couple hour for sure. Yeah.
I've never been, so I don't know. I don't really know where it is, but
Yeah, it's far away. Yeah.
gotcha.
Far
Okay.
away.
And then, can you describe what kind of player you are when you're on the court?
Other than good.
Yeah. I really like the transition of the play. I like when it's fast. I like back-picking player. I like to be the little annoying athlete on the court, like back-picking big player and make like 5-on-4 or like, yeah. I like crossing. I don't know. I'm smart, I guess. Like, I think I like in my life in general, I like to think that there's always an easy way to win, or not to win, but a easy way to do thing. And I think sometimes you work more than what you actually should, I think. And yeah, for me, it's trying to be the smartest on the court, so our game get easier, kind of thing. If you know what I mean. Yeah, I like to yeah, I'm passionate about layup. It's probably one of the thing I love about basketball is layup, like having a fast break and going, yeah, to a layup. I think that's awesome. Like, yeah, it's a good feeling.
How
Let me ask you or go ahead, Molly.
Oh,
you go ahead. I'm sorry.
How often do you guys like practice for games throughout the week to prepare?
Yeah, it's actually like at UTA and every other college. It's actually really well adapted to be able to balance like both. So usually, like, I go in the morning, I go to school, and then 2 to 5 we train Monday to Friday, and sometimes during the weekend. So I think it's really cool. The gym is always accessible, like, for us. So if we want to go shoot or train by ourselves, like, we can always use the court. You know what I mean? But yeah, most of it for the team thing is 2 to 5, Monday to Friday. Yeah.
All right, a slightly personal question here.
Yeah.
Which is bigger? Which is larger?
Okay.
Your category for wheelchair basketball or your GPA?
My category. What do you mean by that?
It's a 2.5. Aren't you at 2.5?
Yeah.
Right on that? So yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Is your GPA higher than a 2.5?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you did just say you're pretty smart, so
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my GPA is higher than a 2.5.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That is good. Let me ask you this: can you tell us, with your teammates at UTA, has there been something funny, like a funny story that you've had that you could think of, maybe on a trip or at a tournament or something, like whatever, something in the locker room? Is there a funny story with your team?
A funny story. There's always many stories, but like, yeah, a funny story.
Is there a player on the team? Maybe it's you. Who's the funny one? Who's the one that makes everybody laugh?
Wow. There's a lot of players that go and are gone right now that were, like, since 2019, since I'm there, they were like a star. But I think all of them are super awesome. All of them, like, can bring something. And I don't know. I'm that kind of person that doesn't like to point out someone, because I think all of the girl brings something super awesome. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean?
I was just looking for a funny story.
Yeah, a funny story. Like, I don't
but
have a lot, but we have a lot of fun together. Like
you have a lot of fun
we
together.
all have something that makes the team really awesome. So yeah.
What is a fun thing that you guys do other than obviously playing? But what's
Yeah.
something fun that the team
Like to
likes to
do.
do?
Like I know some like we try to plan like activity outside so we can learn each other like from outside the team. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we do study too, so we can like all get around and try to figure out our school together. Sometimes we go bowling, like stuff like that
You go.
make the team
Who's the
like
best bowler?
bigger.
Who's the best
Who's
bowler
the
on
best bowler? That's not me, that's for sure.
the team?
Yeah, we all have our technique, but yeah, that's not my sport. That's for sure.
Yeah,
As long as we have fun, that's perfect. Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
good. That is good. All right, Molly, I'll try to go another 30 seconds without interrupting you.
Since we're talking about like the team, how would you describe your the dynamic of the team on and off the court?
Yeah. The dynamic of the team, it's actually really good. Like we have like some introvert and extrovert people. We have some people that are louder, that are quieter, and um, like what it's cool about basketball is like we have classification and every player like we need everyone. We need everyone to train. We need everyone to be successful in their school so they can be on court too, you know. And I think every people are bring this team like a little sun, you know, like we are shining, and it's really cool to see that everyone's growing, everyone is performing, and I think it's really awesome. Like yeah.
And then what made you decide to come to Texas Arlington?
That's a good question. In 2019, I was looking to go into college basketball because um, first I wanted to go back to school because I had like stopped for 2 year, about 2 year. I was living down in Toronto for a little bit for training, and I was like, my parents were not happy. They were like, "El, you gotta go back to school at some point." So I was looking for my opportunity to go to another country and to feel like what it is to be away a little bit. And I think it was cool to have this opportunity to go somewhere I didn't know anyone. Like my first goal was to challenge myself and to live where I could start again. You know, like not knowing anyone, not knowing the culture, not knowing the language because it's my first time in English, like in English school. And I think that was just part of what I wanted to do, like to feel like, okay, I'm alone. Like I'm alone now. I need to figure it out, you know, kind of thing. But you're not alone for too long. With the team and the friend that comes along and classmate, like teacher, like you're not too long alone. So, but it was really cool experience to feel like, okay, now my family are away. Now I'm just in an English school. Like I've got to figure it out, you know? Yeah.
How was it like for learning, like going to school in English for the first time? Like that had to have been like a transition.
Yeah, it's a transition for sure. Like I had stopped um, school for 2 year, about 2 year, I guess. Yeah. Did a little bit of online schooling, but not for too long. And it's different. It's different, but there's so many resources. Like I think it's the first time I actually use the resources that the school offered because it's not my language, you know, and I want to be good in school and I want to have a good GPA and I'm asking a lot for myself. So like I use the resources and I think it's really cool to learn. But there's some time, I remember example last semester I was sitting down for an exam and I'm like, oh my God, what that mean? Like I don't even know what the word mean, you know, like so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna guess this answer, you know, because this word like I just don't know. But it's challenging and that's what I like I'm learning English and yeah, I think it's really cool to have two languages too, so yeah.
So I'm sensing a theme, and Molly, I'm trying to teach her, look for a theme that we can have throughout the story, and that you are someone who likes a challenge. Would that
Yeah.
seem to be correct? All
Yeah.
right. from what I've read in other stories about you, this theme seems to be she smiles and she's bubbly. Do you
Yeah.
like to be smiling and bubbly? Is that a good thing? And where did that come from?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I mean, yeah, it is a good thing. Um, every time I have a challenge, I try to get up on my feet and just smile at. Like I'm a girl that like living, that like experience, that like to go out there and meet new person and to agree to get interview and to meet people. I think it's the most important thing, And yeah, I like to smile. I don't like when the girl are like I'm the one that usually like if they're a little bit down, like I'm trying to cheer them up or like yeah, I'm pretty positive in life that like if you do good and you're good, then life's gonna be good.
Great. That is great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
I'm
did
pretty
the
smiley. I can't even like be aggressive on court. I just smile. Like some
that's
people and coaches sometimes are like, do your poker face or be aggressive, and I'm like, this is my type of aggressiveness. Like I just smile and I have fun and I just piss them off. Like yeah.
that's fantastic. Do you have a relative or a parent or someone who kind of passed down that bubbly, positive, uh, smiling
Yeah.
personality, or is that all you?
Nah, I mean, I have a twin sister. Her name is Jessica, and she's really bubbly too. Like we are that kind of personality where we like life, we like adventure. My parents are really positive too. They teach us that sometimes we go through stuff, but we gotta be patient and work for it. And like I don't know, we got pretty good parents that always smile, always are contagious about like their good emotions. So I think that helped for sure. Yeah.
That would seem to.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me about your coaches at
Mhm.
UTA.
Yeah.
Um, what how have they helped? Other than telling you that you should be more aggressive and smile less. Um,
I mean, yeah, there's a huge support that comes from staff, that come from coaches, that come from mentor. That I think we find people that are alumni or other people that are around us that either are internship that student come and goes. And I think that's really important that the support and that they believe in us and like if the head coach believe in what we're capable of doing, I think it all start from there. And I think like Jason Nem's been doing a good job of believing in us and make us train hard. And I think it's really cool to see that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Molly, take it away.
Um, and then, so can you describe a time that you're like most proud of, like when you were playing basketball or maybe outside of the court?
That I'm most proud. Hmm. Hey, that's a good question. That I'm the most proud of. Outside of basketball?
It could be in basketball or outside.
Yeah.
Maybe a time that you've like overcome something, like a
Unless they
challenge.
maybe made the Paralympic team. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
Yeah, that's really damn good too. Yeah. Making the Olympic game and experiencing those kind of emotion and having to represent example like the Canadian, but also coming back to the US, like it's really a feeling that without even like experiencing, you wouldn't know that feeling. And I think it's really cool. Like even if we lost against the US in quarterfinal, I'm really happy to go back to UTA and train with the US. You know what I mean? Like it's really cool to experience. And in sport, that's what you kind of learn is that at some point like there's people that win, there's people that don't achieve what they wanted to achieve, but at the end of the day, we still are people that want to perform, to get challenged, to have that kind of emotion. And I think I'm living for that. So yeah, I think it's really cool.
that's
Mhm.
fantastic. All right. We need to touch on this a little bit, but um, speaking to other wheelchair athletes, what they would like the stories to be about is not the same story. Here's my disability. Here's how I got over my disability. Isn't that inspirational? I even had one woman tell me, I don't want to be considered inspirational. I know that I am, but I just want to be an athlete and be considered inspirational for that. Um, but can you tell us a little bit about, say, the challenge
Mhm.
with not even with your disability, but to me, it's like, how do you get to be the person that you are, so driven for such an unbelievably high level of success?
Mhm.
That's 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 amazing, truly amazing. How do you find that? How did you deal with who you are, what the obstacle and challenge that you were given to become super elite, super elite? How do you get to that?
Yeah, it's really impressive how it goes by so fast. Like I'm almost 26 years old, and I'm
That's old.
there, and
That's
sometimes yeah,
oh,
it's not like you don't really like true life, like you're working for something, and I guess like the passion is there, and I mean, I think I'm just thankful that I have the parent that I have, like, and my twin sister. Like, I remember being young and wanted to do the same thing as my sister, but with my disability, like my parent always told me, like, you will be able to do the same thing as Jess, but maybe different, and you gotta adapt and you gotta figure it out your own way. But I think it's the same thing for everyone. Like, people can struggle, people can, I don't know, like, you just gotta figure it out your own way. And I think it just, if you want something, then just make yourself some goals and reach those little goals so you can achieve what you want to achieve. Like, it's the same thing, like my ski, for example. Like, I'm gonna go get back on it next winter. Like, I'm not done with that sport. Like,